System log, Friday, October 6th, 2023. Haven't done one of these, so sorry to leave you guys hanging. It's been busy and yet not busy. Let's see, updates, job situation, still looking for work. Nobody's called us back yet. It's like, the system's like, what's wrong with us? How come they're not calling? Are we too old? Things like this that we've already talked about and already covered. No, it's just you just simply have to keep plugging away, apparently. But anyway, so we're trying to expand our search. The trouble is that a lot of places that we're applying probably are not going to want to give us the day off in the one narrow window that our therapist has, hopefully to be old therapist has, in order to get to therapy, which is Saturdays at 10 a.m., so obviously they're going to be a little bitchy about that probably and not want to do it, but what can you do? It's one of these where it's like, we'll gladly work any other day or time, but we kind of have to have the Saturdays off. So we'll see how that goes if we ever freaking get an interview. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so there's that. We're actually kind of settling into that whole idea / mindset / whatever it is what it is. Let's see, damn it, I left the list of people to thank on the other computer. Okay, we'll put up a thing for those of you who have hit us up on the Buy Me a Coffee thing. I think it was Dan C. Damn it, I don't want to have to hop up because the computer's in the other room and everything. I think it was Dan C. If not, we'll correct it on the next one. Thank you very much for your generosity, and of course everybody else who has contributed, thank you very much for your generosity. It does really make a difference. We do ask that if you're going to do that, please do it through the Let's Make a or Buy Me a Coffee rather than through YouTube, because YouTube holds any donations or whatnot for well over a month, and they also take 30% of them. So the Buy Me a Coffee does not do that, and we can basically have it within like the next week. So YouTube sticking their finger in the pie there. But anyway, a great big thank you to all of you who have chosen to do that. It really does mean a lot and make a difference. So let's see, where are we at? Still haven't filmed for Rosemary. We're working that out. We're undergoing some internal struggle about that, because part of it is still that I'm just not comfortable fronting as her, or rather allowing her to front would be more precise, while I go in the background. Bye-bye. It's a bone of contention. And yes, Rosemary, I know, okay? Sorry, I'm getting gurred at right now. It's just, it's like this is a personal thing. It's going to happen. We made a promise, and we always keep our promises. This has been one of our lifelong things. Gee, wonder why we're so obsessed on, keeping our word and keeping our promises. It's because none of them were ever kept when we were a kid, for obvious reasons. Abusers really don't give a crap about telling you the truth. They only care about lying to you and wrapping you around their little finger. Anyway, so there's that. We'll definitely have another episode of Little Stories out definitely before Christmas. Probably 2 before then. We'll see how it goes. The main thing, and we unfortunately are running a little bit behind on this again, still is the episode on the theory of structural dissociation. As mentioned, I'm not sure that we uploaded that one or not, but anyway, went back, double-checked after basically getting all of the animation done up to a certain point, and where I had to look at Data's notes, but only to find that Data had taken a siesta or a vacation or whatnot, and had actually not done the notes, so we're starting from scratch. So for the past, oh dear God, what are we on now? Day 4, day 5, he has been steadily going through this. Oh, well, that's going to be bright. You're not going to be able to see it on the camera because of the background lighting anyway, but it's called The Trauma-Related Structural Dissociation of the Personality by Vanderhart, Candace Steele, and Nejehush. We're going to mispronounce that. Anyway, the thing is, dear God, he always finds these insanely long things. 23 pages long. And we have been going through it, or he's been going through it and highlighting it. And actually, I've kind of been there along with him, since it's just he can get lost in this stuff, and it's like, okay, let's try to limit, not the highlighting and the bullet points to not everything in the whole thing, but just basically with what the theory of structural dissociation is, what the steps of it are, and then maybe later on, in further episodes, we can go ahead and, fill in the intensive details, because dear God, this thing is, this is probably one of the more challenging papers that I've had to help him with. Well, not he's helping me with. I don't know how the hell to put it. Anyway, it's one of the more challenging papers since the one that we did read for Learning to Love Again, Sex, Trauma, and DID. Check that out if you haven't already. It's our most viewed. Anyway, so that was pretty in-depth, but this one is like, oh man, wrapping the head around it is just almost painful. More so because we were about 90% done with it, and then went ahead and our tablet was running out of power, so we closed it out, turned off the power, went the next day and pulled it up, and every single last one of the notes and the highlighting and the bullet points, all of the work that we had done over the previous 4 days was gone, because we didn't realize that the program doesn't auto-save. So, yeah, all that 4 days work, anyway, lost, gone. We managed to make up most of it yesterday and the day before, but it has unfortunately set us back. We really wanted to get that out for you this weekend, but it's just not going to happen. So, if we keep our nose, or I keep our nose to the grindstone, I hate the plural stuff. It's just F plural. You get so mixy, and it's like, okay, who am I? Am I me? Am I them? It's like, am I Data? It's Kokon, because Data and I are Kokon like 98% of the time. It's tough to tell when he's fully fronted and when I'm not just along for the ride. I think for this one I've been mostly, just, along for the ride, but anyway. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, unless there's some kind of a technical difficulty that is unanticipated on this, we should have it up for you next weekend. Because the others are just, it's like, this is taking forever. Rosemary's like, I'm never gonna get my episode because this is just taking forever, and we need to learn to prioritize, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh God, this is hard enough without you guys pushing and bitching at me. And it's like, Percival's like, we really must have another episode for the little stories, and it's like, obviously, like I said, we can't do him, but, it's like, my way of doing him, is kind of a little bit of mockery, because he's just incessant with certain things. But anyway, that actually would be far less effort than digging through this thing. Oh my God, but it's important to us that we get this right, and that we actually know what we're talking about, to pass it on to you. I mean, because we have covered it, in some detail in our other episodes. Again, see the previous, Learning to Love Again, and also our Who in the Hell Are You people, Altereds and all about them. We have glossed over it in several other episodes, but this is the DID 101. This is the fundamental underlying basis, the underlying theory that has been backed up by science since it was written in, I think it was 2010 anyway, so it's 13 years old. So there's been a lot of hard science that's been done to back up this their theory of structural dissociation. It's the one that we use, the one that our therapist taught us, because it has the most scientific backing to it. But this is DID 101, so it is important that we get this right, and important that we double checked that what we've told you already was the truth and was factual and was backed up. We always cite our references and whatnot, but this one is especially important. So it's like we want to make sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. And I mean, it's not going to be, like I said, we're not going to do like a deep dive into it, but it's going to be more inclusive than just the mentions that we've had of it in the past. But it's important. So that's why it's taking so long, because we want to make sure that it's right. We don't put out crappy informational content. We always try to source it as best we can and explain it as best we can and make sure that we understand as best we can. And actually, we have to say somewhat pridefully that, yes, we actually do know, the theory of structural dissociation pretty damn well. But, still making sure. Much more for the deep dive. So that coming up next weekend, we hope, because we're juggling the trying to find a job with the everyday normal parenting house stuff and just running the household and all the crap that DID throws at you. Haven't had any real big no, actually we did have, what was it, 2 or 3 days ago anyway. We woke up with just an absolute splitting TITH headache. The transitional interpersonality thunderclap headaches our long-term viewers know what those are. For those of you who don't, essentially it's the switching headaches, the headaches that you get when you switch, particularly when you hard switch or involuntarily switch between alters. You get that cracking, oh my god, just blow my head off headache. That's called a TITH headache, and we actually do have an episode devoted exclusively to those, so look them up. I think it's TITH, the worst headache ever. If you want to learn about them and all about what causes them and whatnot, never heard of them before, check out that episode. So we don't have to go into them here, but man, we woke up with one, which leads us to think that, and we were having some pretty wild dreams the night before. So we're postulating that hello data, that what was happening is we were switching within the dream state, and then we woke up and we had the TITH from that, and it just flattened us for the entire day. It's like I think we just simply slept most of the day, which is the best way to re-regulate your whole system, your brain and your nervous system and whatnot after you had one of these things and after you've had a lot of hard switches, is to sleep, stop, drop, and sleep. Because if you don't, and if you push through, because of the way that they're formed, the increase in blood pressure to the brain, there's actually a chance that you could, have an embolism, a clot, and go and Swiss cheese brain even more than you've already got. Again, for details, check out the video on that because we explain it in a lot of detail. So that was a bit of a challenge, but we've learned not to push through those and to self-care. And fortunately, everyone in the family is, supportive of that. So, but it was a brutal, nasty headache. So, don't know if that was caused by cumulative stress or what was going on. If we were working through some trauma in the dream state. Don't know if you guys have ever had, dreams where all of you were there or most of you were there. We've had a couple of those, and they were just profoundly weird. Seeing multiple perspectives and multiple time periods. That the human brain just really isn't meant to do this. Although, curiously enough, in here, the paper that we're going through, we did find that there is this is actually a thing. Yes, you can have those multiple perspectives. I forget what the hell they call it in here. A parallel structural dissociation. But yeah, there's a paragraph in there that describes this exact mind, that we've experienced before. So if any of you have experienced it, drop a comment down below and let us know what your weirdo experience with that was. But yeah, human brain not intended to do that. So unfortunately, that set us back a day. But you got to self-care, otherwise it just gets worse and worse and worse. So that's about it. For this week. Again, sorry for the delay on that, but it is what it is. But we did want to reach out and do because we said that we were going to do the weekly thing. It is when we'll get to them, because we don't want this to become the majority of our content. It's real easy for us to just sit down and chat and blow off steam on one of these things, but we don't want that to turn, the channel to turn into that, because while it might be gratifying or edifying for you guys and getting the just unfiltered here, although we're pretty much unfiltered most of the time anyway, but anyway, that's not the channel focus, and we don't want to lose the path that we built, because we had a very specific roadmap, as it were, for the channel, and we don't want to get it sidetracked. So basically there's that. I can't think of anything else to blabber on about. Hopefully everybody out there is having a good weekend by the time, since it's Friday. It is Friday, right? Friday. Yes, Friday. Okay. Yeah. 15 minutes and we can't remember what damn day it is. So yeah, there's that. So hopefully we'll have the theory of structural dissociation out. We've already covered this. We're repeating ourselves next weekend, and we'll go from there. So everybody, self-care, have a great day, have a great weekend, and always remember that you are loved, that you are strong, and that you're not alone. Chris, Data, et al., signing off for now. I'll catch you guys next time.